Welcome back to The Bible is Art, where we explore the literary artistry of the Bible. And this week, we're looking at the symbolism of darkness in John's story of the resurrection. And it's more than you might think. John 20 records Jesus' resurrection, and it begins like this. Now, on the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb early while it was still dark. And as the scene unfolds, more people arrive at the tomb, they have discussions, but we never hear of the sun rising. The only next time marker we have is in verse 19, where it says, on the evening of that day. That is, we're still in darkness. So when is the darkness broken? Well, not where you might think. John uses one subtle verb to tell us. He says that Jesus stood among them. That is, when he came to their house. Now, you can't see this in the English translation, but in Greek, the word that means to rise, like when the sun rises, is anistemi, which is a combination of two words, ana, meaning up, and histemi, which means to stand. And 3 times in this chapter and once in the next chapter, that verb, histemi, the second part of the word to rise, is used. And other than the generic verb, he said, this is the most common verb, the most common action Jesus does in this chapter. That is, stand, or part of the word to rise. Okay, but why? Well, the literary symbolism is that this whole chapter occurs in darkness, but then Jesus rises, he stands. You see, the beginning of John's gospel told us this about Jesus. This is chapter 1 and verse 4. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John told us from the beginning of this gospel, that Jesus was light, and that what the light will do is shine in the darkness, which is precisely what's happening in our chapter. It's dark all around, but Jesus is standing. He's rising. He is the sun that is lightening in the darkness. And that verb that's translated overcome can also be translated as understood. So the light will shine in the darkness, but the darkness has not understood it. And we see this in John 20. The women don't understand. When they see him, they think that he's the gardener. John will tell us in verse 9 that for as yet they did not understand the scriptures, that he must rise from the dead. But John tells us that some do see the light, and while the disciples don't understand at first, their eyes will slowly adjust. You see, in the beginning, in Genesis, physical light was created to shine out of darkness first. But John tells us that in the new creation, the first light is not merely a physical light, but a man, Jesus. All the symbols of the original creation find their completion and fulfillment in the new creation, where Jesus, on the first day of the new week, is the light shining out of darkness, bringing understanding. People like Mary are blinded by the light, like in Plato's Allegory of the cave. That is, they come face to face with light, but in seeing it, they can't see it. But also, the light will provide understanding. John's gospel begins with the beginning, the first creation, and ends with the new week, the first day of the new creation. And just like in Genesis 1, where it begins in darkness with light exploding into the darkness, so does the new creation. But this time, the light is seen to be what it always was, the man Jesus Christ. And that, my friends, is why the Bible is art.